A day after, a third case was detected in Butembo. 239, on the 3rd of May, 2021. The 12th EVD outbreak was declared over, resulting in 12 cases and 6 deaths. 240, 241. Heightened surveillance will continue for 90 days after the declaration, in case of resurgence. 240, Guinea. In February 2021, Sakoba Keita, head of Guinea's National Health Agency, confirmed that 3 people had it of Ebola in the southeastern region near the city of Nzerekore. A further 5 people also tested positive. Keita also confirmed more testing was underway, and attempts to trace and isolate further cases had begun. 242, on the 14th of February, the Guinean government declared an Ebola epidemic. 243, the outbreak may have started following reactivation of a latent case in a survivor of an earlier outbreak. 244, 245, as of 4 May 2021, 23 cases were reported, with no new cases or deaths since the 3rd of April 2021. 240, a 42-day countdown period was started on the 8th of May 2021, and on the 19th of June, the outbreak was declared over. 240, 246, Ivory Coast. On the 14th of August 2021, the Ministry of Health of Côte d'Ivoire confirmed the country's first case of Ebola since 1994. This came after the Institut Pasteur in Côte d'Ivoire confirmed the Ebola virus disease in samples collected from a patient, who was hospitalized in the commercial capital of Abidjan, after arriving from Guinea. 247. However, on the 31st of August 2021, the WHO found that, after further tests in a laboratory in Lyon, the patient did not have Ebola. The cause of her disease is still being analyzed. 248, 2022. On the 23rd of April 2022, a case of Ebola was confirmed in the DRC in the Equateur province. The case was a 31-year-old man whose symptoms began on the 5th of April, but did not seek treatment for over a week. On 21 April he was admitted to an Ebola treatment center and died later that day. 249. By the 24th of May 2022, there were 5 recorded deaths in the DRC. 250. On the 15th of August, the 5th case was buried, and the outbreak was declared over, 42 days after, on the 4th of July 2022. 251. In September 2022, Uganda reported 7 cases infected with the Ebola Sudan strain. 252. But by mid-October the count had increased to 63. 253. In November 2022, the outbreak in Uganda continued, still without a vaccine. 4. On the 10th of January 2023, the outbreak was considered over after no new cases had been reported for 42 days. The outbreak killed nearly 80 people. 254. Society and culture. Weaponization. Ebola virus is classified as a biosafety level 4 agent, as well as a category of bioterrorism agent by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. 96. 255. It has the potential to be weaponized for use in biological warfare. 256. 257, and was investigated by Biopreparat for such use, but might be difficult to prepare as a weapon of mass destruction because the virus becomes ineffective quickly in open air. 258. Fake emails pretending to be Ebola information from the WHO or the Mexican government have, in 2014, been misused to spread computer malware. 259. The BBC reported in 2015 that North Korean state media has suggested the disease was created by the US military as a biological weapon. 260. Literature. Richard Preston's 1995 best-selling book, The Hot Zone, dramatized the Ebola outbreak in Reston, Virginia. 261, 262, 263. William Close's 1995 Ebola, a documentary novel of its first explosion. 264, 265, and 2002 Ebola through the eyes of the people focused on individuals' reactions to the 1976 Ebola outbreak in Zaire. 266, 267. Tom Clancy's 1996 novel, Executive Orders, involves a Middle Eastern terrorist attack on the United States using an airborne form of a deadly Ebola virus strain named Ebola. Mainga, see Mainga Nseka. 268, 269. As the Ebola virus epidemic in West Africa developed in 2014, a number of popular self-published and well-reviewed books containing sensational and misleading information about the disease appeared in electronic and printed formats. The authors of some such books admitted that they lacked medical credentials and were not technically qualified to give medical advice. The World Health Organization and the United Nations stated that such misinformation had contributed to the spread of the disease. 270. Other animals. Wild animals. Ebola has a high mortality rate among primates. 271. Frequent outbreaks of Ebola may have resulted in the deaths of 5,000 gorillas. 272. Outbreaks of Ebola may have been responsible for an 88% decline in tracking indices of observed chimpanzee populations in the 420 square kilometers Losai Sanctuary between 2002 and 2003. 273. Transmission among chimpanzees through meat consumption constitutes a significant risk factor, whereas contact between the animals, such as touching dead bodies and grooming, is not. 274. Recovered gorilla carcasses have contained multiple Ebola virus strains, suggesting multiple introductions of the virus. Bodies decompose quickly and carcasses are not infectious after 3 to 4 days. Contacts between gorilla groups is rare, suggesting that transmission among gorilla groups is unlikely, and that outbreaks result from transmission between viral reservoirs and animal populations. 273. Domestic animals. In 2012, it was demonstrated that the virus can travel without contact from pigs to non-human primates, although the same study failed to achieve transmission in that manner between primates. 86. 275. Dogs may become infected with Ebola but not develop symptoms. Dogs in some parts of Africa scavenge for food, and they sometimes eat Ebola-infected animals and also the corpses of humans. A 2005 survey of dogs during an Ebola outbreak found that although they remain asymptomatic, about 32% of dogs closest to an outbreak showed a seroprevalence for Ebola versus 9% of those farther away. 276. The authors concluded that there were potential implications for preventing and controlling human outbreaks. Reston virus. In late 1989, Hazelton Research Products Reston Quarantine Unit in Reston, Virginia, had an outbreak of fatal illness amongst certain lab monkeys. This lab outbreak was initially diagnosed as simian hemorrhagic fever virus, SHFV, and occurred amongst a shipment of crab-eating macaque monkeys imported from the Philippines. Hazelton's veterinary pathologist in Reston sent tissue samples from dead animals to the United States Army Medical Research Institute of Infectious Diseases, USAMRIID, at Fort Detrick. Maryland, where an ELISA test indicated the antibodies present in the tissue were a response to Ebola virus and not SHFV. 277. An electron microscopist from USAMRIAD discovered filoviruses similar in appearance, in crystalloid aggregates and as single filaments with a shepherd's hook, to Ebola in the tissue samples. Sent from Hazelton Research Products Reston Quarantine Unit. 278. A U.S. Army team headquartered at USAMRIAD euthanized the surviving monkeys, and brought all feeded monkeys to Fort Detrick for study by the Army's veterinary pathologists and virologists, and eventual disposal under safe conditions. 277. Blood samples were taken from 178 animal handlers during the incident. 279. Of those, 6 animal handlers eventually seroconverted, including one who had cut himself with a bloody scalpel. 97. 280. Despite its status as a level 4 organism and its apparent pathogenicity in monkeys, when the handlers did not become ill, the CDC concluded that the virus had a very low pathogenicity to humans. 280. 281. The Philippines and the United States had no previous cases of Ebola infection, and upon further isolation researchers concluded it was another strain of Ebola, or a new filovirus of Asian origin, which they named Reston ebolavirus, REST, after the location of the incident. 277. Reston virus, REST, can be transmitted to pigs. 86. Since the initial outbreak, it has since been found in non-human primates in Pennsylvania, Texas, and Italy. 282, where the virus had infected pigs. 283, according to the WHO, routine cleaning and disinfection of pig, or monkey, farms with sodium hypochlorite or detergents should be effective in inactivating the Reston ebolavirus. Pigs that have been infected with REST tend to show symptoms of the disease. 284. Research. Treatments. Researchers looking at slides of cultures of cells that makes monoclonal antibodies. These are grown in a lab and the researchers are analyzing the products to select the most promising. As of July 2015, no medication has been proven safe and effective for treating Ebola. By the time the Ebola virus epidemic in West Africa began in 2013, there were at least 9 different candidate treatments. Several trials were conducted in late 2014 and early 2015, but some were abandoned due to lack of efficacy or lack of people to study. 285. As of August 2019, 2 experimental treatments known as atoltivimab/maftivimab/odisivimab and onsuvimab were found to be 90% effective. 286, 287, 288. Diagnostic tests. The diagnostic tests currently available require specialized equipment and highly trained personnel. Since there are few suitable testing centers in West Africa, this leads to delay in diagnosis. 289. On the 29th of November, 2014, a new 15-minute Ebola test was reported that if successful, not only gives patients a better chance of survival, but it prevents transmission of the virus to other people. The new equipment, about the size of a laptop and solar-powered, allows testing to be done in remote areas. 290. On the 29th of December, 2014, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, FDA, approved the light mix Ebola's RT-PCR test for patients with symptoms of Ebola. 291. Disease models. Animal models and in particular non-human primates are being used to study different aspects of Ebola virus disease. Developments in organ-on-a-chip technology have led to a chip-based model for Ebola hemorrhagic syndrome. 292. See also. Bibliography of Ebola. Notes. The mortality, number of dead per number of healthy per time frame, recorded in Liberia up to the 26th of August, 2014 was 70%. 194. However, due to the estimation method used, the estimated case